I'm Julie Zenner along with Dennis Anderson, and here's what's coming up on Almanac North.
Well, the 2016 shipping season came to a close in the Twin Ports over the weekend. Port Director Vanta Coda is here to talk about cargo trends and transportation infrastructure.
It's nearly tax time, and local groups are urging working families to see if they qualify for the Earned Income Tax Credit.
And the nation's 45th president, Donald J. Trump, is sworn into office.
These topics and more coming up on Almanac North. Hello and welcome to Almanac North. Thanks for watching. And Denny, it was certainly a day for pomp and circumstance with our new president sworn into office.
Absolutely. Regardless of which party is in office, I'm a bit of a student of presidential politics. I watched today from 4:30 this morning until 4:30 this afternoon.
Holy smokes. Wow. I watched quite a bit of it, but you've got me beat there.
I enjoy it.
We'll hear part of the president's speech a little bit later, but Denny, first let's get to our first topic.
All right, sounds like a plan. Thank you, Julie. Well, the last vessel of the 2016 shipping season sailed into the Twin Ports Monday for winter layup. Now, for the next few months, the ships will be in hibernation, but that doesn't mean there will be no activity in the port. In fact, preparations are already underway for the upcoming season. So, joining us with more on the port is Vanta Coda II, the director of the Duluth Seaway Port Authority. Vanta, thank you very much for being here. I know the taconite shipping season was off to a bit of a slow start. How did 2016 end up? We're looking pretty good?
So if you recall, in April when I sat down and kind of gave a forecast, we talked about commodities, and it looked as if this year was going to be a stabilizing and maybe a chance for a rebound. Commodity cycles move in different paces. It appears that the iron ore did do just that. It hit its bottom and did have a rebound. So that was a very nice thing to see, roughly about an 8%. But overall in the harbor, the coal continued to move downward, and we really took a hit, but I believe that is the bottoming of that commodity for the future shipping seasons.
Not much ice cover this year. Did that help with the strong finish for the season?
It was the longest season, tied for the longest season that we've had. So even though the volumes were down, we did have a very robust season.
How many vessels are going to be wintering in the Twin Ports this year?
We have 9 wintering, and we are fortunate at the Clure to have 4 of those 9, so we have our fair share, and 2 of them will be at the brand new Tiger refurbished dock. We are calling it the Clure Extension. It's berths 8 through 11.
Go ahead.
Oh, I just, for people who don't know what happens to all those vessels when they are in port, there's a lot of activity going on and a lot of economic impact too.
Oh, absolutely. So when the vessels come into winter, if you think about our season, this is their time to make the much needed repairs and investment. So during this very short period is a time of heavy investment into those vessels. So the workforce has to gear up and really be ready to get them in ship shape for the spring.
The last ocean vessel left here in December. What was the year like for ocean traffic?
Ocean traffic on the grain side was robust. It was about 270, 280,000 tons above 2015, so that's a good story. For general commodities, we were kind of a flat year compared to 2015, which was just a really big year for us at the Clure. Overall, the international vessels did well, mostly on the back of grain.
So in an average year, how many international vessels would favor the Duluth Superior?
Ooh, geez. I wouldn't have that right off the top of my head. You're really throwing them at me.
All right, okay. Several dozen?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. We'll have anywhere from 11 to 22 vessels just call on our dock alone. and we're certainly the least active compared to the grain elevators.
You mentioned the $18 million dock redevelopment project that just was completed this fall. Talk about what that is going to mean for the port and for the cargoes that we see through here.
Yeah, absolutely. Going back to April, one of the statements we started with on that project was we were anticipating finishing on time. We did finish on time and under budget slightly. And today it is in active commercial service. We have 2 Laker vessels wintering there, and we're holding cargo for storage purposes there today. It is what I tell everyone, it's the keystone to the next 50 years.
Vanta, talk to us a little bit about the value of transportation traffic to the Twin Ports.
Yes, transportation as a sector and a silo, transportation logistics, is sometimes overlooked. Dr. Stewart, who is known around the community, refers to transportation logistics as the silent empire. And that's largely true and a bit of a shame, because it really has a great story. Earlier this last year, the Reef Breakfasts, if you've attended those, outlined that 8,700 jobs are connected to transportation and logistics. That calls for $470 million in wages, and those are living wage jobs and very important to our community. So we bring a lot to the table when we talk about transportation and logistics.
Is there a future working in the Twin Ports, in the ports themselves, for today's young people who may want to stay in Duluth and Superior?
Well, that's my job. Yeah, I absolutely believe there is. I came here because I saw the value of the assets that were here, and I believe that we can leverage them to much greater productivity. And with that, I think we will gain in more economic development opportunities because of that. This is a great place to bend a supply chain.
You mentioned Dr. Richard Stewart, and he's over at UWS with the Transportation Logistics Management Program, I believe it's called. Do you see people coming out of that program who are taking some of those positions in the port, or is that helping to provide a workforce here?
Oh, absolutely. It is a place to get the education and put it into practical terms. They come and look at the docks and they do studies with us. We're very involved with their program, and quite frankly, if we're lucky to keep them here, because his success rate in turning out graduates with jobs is one of the highest in that system.
Where do you see most of the opportunities for young people right now in the maritime industry? Are there certain areas where you really are facing a workforce shortage because of people retiring?
It's across the board in transportation. So if you look at the millennials, they have an identification for transportation and logistics as a career of only 2%. And as we move forward, we have more retirements, and it's referred to as the gray tsunami. It hits transportation logistics functions really very hard.
Winter downtime isn't very long anymore. What can you tell us about what maybe the port sees for the 2017 season?
We're very optimistic about 2017. We have a lot of opportunities in the pipeline, particularly wind energy. 2017 and 2018 are due to be very high water marks in the movement, and we handle over 50% of all wind products that make it to the Great Lakes.
Wow.
Any other new cargoes on the horizon?
We're always looking, and so we're hopeful that we'll be able to bring some new opportunities this year, and just keep an eye on us.
Getting back to wind energy for a moment, those products end up not only in the United States, but it's Canada too, do they not?
Oh, absolutely. So Canada is a great partner. It's the biggest partner that we have for trade within Minnesota and within the port. 30% of all of our activity is either to or from Canada, so they're our top trading partner.
New president sworn in today. Any opportunities that you see with this new administration or Congress, or things that you would like to have lobbied for as a port director?
Well, we always have a wish list of lobby. The one thing that I will say is he has repeated pledges for infrastructure spending, and that's near and dear to transportation professionals. So I'm rooting for that.
Okay, very good. Well, Duluth Port Director Vanta Coda, thank you very much. Appreciate you being here on this Friday night.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right. Drive carefully on your way home.
If I can find home.
Now, let's dig into our news file archive for a look at what was making news 25 years ago this week.
At the Duluth International Airport, the Star of the North was christened through a document signed by Governor Arnie Carlson and Northwest co-chairman John Dasburg. And shortly after, a second groundbreaking ceremony was underway. It was an awkward moment when new Duluth Mayor Gary Doty got to take a dig in place of former Mayor John Fido.
I don't know how else it could have been handled. You know, I am the mayor of Duluth. I will be involved in seeing that this thing does finally become reality in the last stages, and I will be the mayor when all the jobs come to this community. And you know, there's a lot of planning we're involved in already.
Despite no formal financial commitment from the city of Duluth and new trouble in the Minnesota legislature, Northwest says sights are still set on a real groundbreaking soon.
We're really focused on going ahead with this project. We're excited to get started, and we're really focusing on coming to Duluth.
With that kind of confidence, area business leaders are getting their cake and eating it too. Governor Carlson says Northeast Minnesota's economy is about to take off with Northwest.
Don't underestimate the ripple effect of Northwest Airlines. This is a very, very important package because it not only creates roughly 2,000 jobs here, but you take the ripple effect of it, and you may be talking about another 4,000 to 8,000 jobs, plus a strengthened economy.
The state of Minnesota continues to have one of the lowest unemployment rates in the country, but many people in our region still have a hard time making ends meet on the wages they earn. With tax filing season around the corner, there's an opportunity for working families struggling with rising costs, and our guests are here to tell us about the Earned Income Tax Credit. Matt Hunter is the president of the Head of the Lakes United Way. Julia Cheng is Tax Site Program Coordinator for Community Action Duluth. And Taylor Putz is Communications and Engagement Manager for the group Prepare and Prosper. And thanks to all of you for being here. Appreciate it. Matt, start out by talking about what is the Earned Income Tax Credit and why is the United Way so interested in it?
Well, it's a federal tax credit for low and moderate income people, families. We're interested in it because we're interested in income. We want income stability for people in our community. And so when we hear that a tax credit can bring over $6,000 to a family, additional income into a family's pocket for a year, we're going to perk up and listen to that because, you know, we walk the line between, we're a nonprofit, but we also want to see our businesses doing very well because they are the ones who help us to raise all of the funds that we then distribute throughout the community. So we want our economy to do well, and this is bringing extra money back into our region for spending in our local economy as well.
Matt, it sounds like a lot of people are not necessarily even aware of this tax credit. What are they missing out on?
As much as almost $6,300. I think the IRS estimates that 1 out of 5 people don't really even know about it or apply for the tax credit. And for our region in Duluth, I believe the average last year was about almost $2,000. Came back into the community to these families. They're spending them on their basic needs, rents, and they're doing it with local vendors or businesses in the area. So it's important for us here in the region.
Taylor, who exactly qualifies for it, and how does somebody know if they would qualify for this?
Yeah, absolutely. So folks who qualify for the Earned Income Tax Credit, it's based on income and family size. So you have to be between the ages of 25 and 65 to claim the Earned Income Tax Credit, and then it all depends on income. So the maximum income is around $53,000. But if someone wants to know if they qualify, they can go to youclaimit.org or call United Way 211 to find out if they qualify for the Earned Income Tax Credit. And I also want to mention that because of the Earned Income Tax Credit and other tax credits, tax time really is a money moment, as Matt was talking about. In terms of people using their refunds, sometimes the largest check people are receiving all year, sometimes up to 30% of someone's annual income on savings and paying down debt and spending it in the local economy.
How can people get help then? I mean, they can hear about it on a program like this, but how does the average taxpayer realize this is even available?
So one of the best ways someone can find out if they're eligible is by going to a free tax preparation site. And the closest one to here is at Community Action Duluth.
That brings you in, Julia.
Yeah, sure does.
Talk about that free tax site and where it is and who qualifies for that.
Well, Community Action Duluth is going into the 13th season of providing volunteer income tax assistance. It's an IRS-sponsored program that's run mostly by volunteers. It's powered by volunteers. So there's 3 of us at Community Action Duluth that run the program. I work there all year round, but we couldn't do it without our team of almost 90 community members who volunteer their time to assist people in filing their tax returns. So they come in and we sit down and do their tax returns with them, and we file them with the IRS and with Minnesota Department of Revenue. And last year, our program served 1,525 unique families. We brought over $3 million in refunds back into our community, and about $1 million of that came from the Earned Income Tax Credit. Now, besides EITC, which is based on people's work, families who qualify for EITC also qualify for the Minnesota parallel, the Working Family Credit. They can qualify for the additional child tax credit. So it is a real boost that keeps people out of poverty.
So is there any cost at all for families who seek your help?
No, it's free. Free is free. Okay, the VITA program serves people free of charge as long as they meet the income requirements. And the income requirements are $56,000, which is exactly 200% of poverty for a family of 5. So it's totally tied to the eligibility for Earned Income Tax Credit.
And Matt, I understand that the United Way has really been pushing for an expansion of the Earned Income Tax Credit. What would that do, and how could it open up opportunities to new people?
Well, and I could probably use a little help on this. The single people are not eligible. Is that correct? That's what it's been. It's been families only.
No, it's actually. If a worker is between the ages of 25 and 65 and is not raising a child in the home, their maximum EITC is $503. By the time they earn about $14,000 if they're single, about $20,000 if they're married, the EITC is completely gone. So, I say they get a pretty measly amount of EITC if they don't have children. So we would like to address the expansion of EITC so that the maximum goes up for a worker that's not raising a child. The age range is expanded to assist young workers, who are just starting with their first job, and also that the income range is expanded, because once you have a child, the EITC for a family with one child, one qualifying child, it goes up to a maximum of $3,300, and it phases out at about an income level of $30,000. So I like to explain it to people as it's a rebate on the heavy Social Security taxation on a worker's wages, and it's kind of an advance on your kids too.
And to jump off of what Julia was just saying, in Minnesota, the expansion of the Earned Income Tax Credit would impact about 220,000 Minnesotans. So those are people who are 21 to 24 and people who, as Julia said, cannot claim children on their tax return but still might be paying for some of their children's expenses. And this proposal that would impact thousands of Minnesotans has been supported by the Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan. And in Minnesota, the working family credit, similar, right, to the earned income tax credit, Governor Dayton has put in his tax proposal that he would want to expand the working family credit the same way that we're talking about expanding the earned income tax credit.
So does Community Action Duluth actually physically lobby for this, for an expansion?
Well, we've talked as private citizens. You know, I have contacted my legislators to say I believe that EITC and working family credit should be expanded. We'll be talking about this at a press conference next Friday that United Way has organized.
Now, as people come to the free tax sites or use your services, is this an opportunity to connect them with other services as well that they might not be familiar with or might not know they're eligible for? Do you use that as kind of a roundup in some way?
I like to say that the best thing about Community Action Duluth tax site is that it's at Community Action Duluth because we have the program and the structure and the experience already in place to help our clients make the best of the refund that they're getting back. So we connect them with employment and financial coaching. We connect them with the Family Assets for Independence in Minnesota asset building programs. You know, we talk to them about how to create and execute a get out of poverty plan. We have wonderful healthcare navigators on staff to help them obtain healthcare, you know, through MNsure. And
is that Prepare and Prosper?
No, our Prepare and Prosper also has a lot of financial services, you know, auxiliary services that connect people with this kind of coaching as well.
Right, so there's over 250 free tax preparation sites throughout Minnesota, and so Community Action Duluth is one of them. Prepare and Prosper is based in the Twin Cities metro area, and we help other organizations like Community Action Duluth run their tax sites. And just to jump off a little bit, what Julia was talking about, like as I mentioned, tax time is this extremely great opportunity for folks who are receiving a refund to think about money, to think about how to pay down debt, how to open a savings account and begin saving for a financial emergency that might happen in the future. So tax time really sets up individuals and families for the rest of the year, which is why we need to expand the earned income tax credit and the working family credit so more low-income working people can really take the opportunity of tax time.
And Matt, do you find that a lot of low-income people miss that opportunity?
They do, and they can find out about their eligibility. One of those ways is to call 211, which is a United Way program here. And Community Action Duluth is a funded agency of United Way. So we're talking to each other a lot, and 211 will refer people to a Community Action Duluth for services beyond just taxes. Sure. Because a lot of times that's just the tip of the iceberg.
Great
All
information.
right. Well, thank you so much for coming in and sharing it. We appreciate it. Good information.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay.
Our nation's 45th president was sworn into office today at noon Eastern Time. Donald J. Trump campaigned on an anti-Washington theme, and that message continued in his inauguration address. Here's a portion of his speech.
What truly matters is not which party controls our government, but whether our government is controlled by the people. January 20th, 2017 will be remembered as the day the people became the rulers of this nation again. The forgotten men and women of our country will be forgotten no longer. Everyone is listening to you now. You came by the tens of millions to become part of a historic movement, the likes of which the world has never seen before. At the center of this movement is a crucial conviction that a nation exists to serve its citizens.
For more coverage of the president's inauguration, stay tuned for Washington Week right after our show.
It's time now for the week's business news from the folks at Business North. Duluth transportation executives are monitoring work on the city's next community and business plan. They want to make sure industrial land isn't repurposed for tourism projects that have less economic impact. Port officials have raised concerns about such redevelopments, which typically are irreversible. Studies have shown the tourism sector employs 25% of the city workers, but those tourism jobs generate only 12% of total wages. The studies also show industrial jobs are responsible for 16% of local workers, but pay more than 24% of total wages.
The Minnesota-USA Winter Rendezvous is coming to Grand Rapids this year, attracting outdoor enthusiasts from across the state. Members of the Minnesota United Snowmobilers Association will ride the trails during the event next month, which will attract about 300 people. The Itasca County Snowmobile Alliance, a collection of 15 snowmobile clubs, is the year's host. Keynote speaker will be Levi Lavallee, a nationally recognized trick snowmobiler and former Winter X Games gold medalist.
Well, the majority of 233 workers tested for lead exposure last year at Fraser shipyards were found to have elevated levels. Work was suspended last year on the cargo vessel Herbert C. Jackson because it was suspected that elevated lead levels were present in a work area. OSHA confirmed that suspicion and fined Fraser $700,000. The company did not admit to fault or liability and has promised to institute a new safety plan at its Superior facility. For more on these and other stories, visit businessnorth.com.
If you have a comment on this week's show, call now, dial 218-788-2849 to leave a message, or send an email to almanacnorth@wdse.org. And visit the WDSE website for the latest program listings, updates on your favorite PBS shows, and news about upcoming station events. Denny, the pageantry of the Inauguration Day is always kind of a sight to see.
I think it'll be continuing, or a lot of news about it at least, continuing over the weekend.
All right, well, something to do for the weekend.
I think so.
All right, for Denny and the crew here at Almanac North, I'm Julie Zenner. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.